Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole free elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever you may be, and wherever you may be, to you I say Shalom and Shabbat Shalom. Alright, you see the headline, thousands rally in Istanbul to mark years since mayor's arrest. Thousands rally in Istanbul to mark years since mayor's arrest. So thousands of people gathered outside Istanbul City Hall Wednesday to mark 1 year since the arrest of the city mayor's Ekrem İmamoğlu, if I pronounce that right, first and last, in a graft probe widely seen as a politically motivated act against the key opponent of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, or whatever. Alright, waving Turkish flags. Crowds, including university students, chanted President İmamoğlu in a show of support for the opposition CHP's candidate for the next presidential vote. "We will win by resisting," they shouted. Alright, this is what they're saying: we will win by resisting. Police heightened security around City Hall, which saw major clashes when police cracked down on protests a year ago. The mayor was arrested on March 19, 2025, just days before he was to be formally named candidate for the Republican People's Party, the CHP, in Turkey's next presidential elections due by mid-2028. The unexpected arrest was denounced by critics as a bid to hobble the chances of one of the few politicians seen as capable of beating Erdogan at the ballot box. İmamoğlu, 54, has remained behind bars, facing a growing array of cases, the biggest of which went to trial on March 9th. Prosecutors are seeking to have him jailed for 2,430 years. Good luck with that one. It's all political, Yasemin Unlu, 63, told AFP as she stood behind the iron barriers despite the cold weather. He's been in jail for a year in vain. İmamoğlu was a presidential candidate and one step ahead. There's nothing that holds up, she said. Biggest rival. Alright. Here's a picture there. Turkey denounced the protests as street terror. After the arrest, vast crowds hit the streets daily, defying a protest ban in Istanbul and other big cities, with the biggest crowds gathering after dark, sparking running battles with riot police. The rally sparked a crackdown by the security forces, who arrested around 2,000 people, among them students, journalists, and lawyers. Although the protests eventually tailed off, the CHP continued to hold rallies across Turkey, boosting the party's standing in the polls. Since the CHP won a resounding victory in March 2024 local elections against Erdogan's Islamic-rooted Justice and Development Party, the AKP, it has faced a sweeping Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and evading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Alright, and this is what's happening right now all over the earth. But today's topic is what? It's Turkey, okay? And we're going to get the word sedition. Sedition is the act of inciting through speech, writing, or organization, rebellion or insurrection against the established government authority. And this is what they talked about, removing Erdogan for this other guy, whatever his name was, İmamoğlu, something like that. It involves conspiring. To disrupt lawful operations, often falling short of direct treason, but actively encouraging disobedience or violence. Key synonyms include insurrection, incitement, rebellion, and subversion. All right. And there's also the Merriam-Webster. All right, incitement of resistance to or insurrection against the lawful authority. All right, and if we go back here, we can always get I believe it's in Tower 9. Right here. We'll start at 2. Then we'll start at 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. And we're talking about one of the signs right now, which is what? Uproars of the people. All right, sedition among men. Then shalt thou will understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, and there's different protests happening in different places, areas of conflict. Okay, like I just said, today's topic just happened to be what? Turkey. Okay, where there are different areas of conflict happening all around the world. All right, and this is a major prophecy, all right, of the end times. Okay, sedition among men, uproars of the people. All right, and as we always mention what it says in Matthew 24, all these things are the beginning of sorrows. All right, so we're just tapping into that real quick, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Lord willing, you will edify the next thing I'm going to say. Shalom.
Thousands of people took to the streets of central Istanbul in support of Ekrem Imamoglu. The rally marked 1 year after Turkey President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's main rival was arrested on corruption charges. Imamoglu's supporters were seen waving red party banners and Turkish flags amid a heavy police presence. They were also heard chanting, "President Imamoglu" and "Tayyip resign." Imamoglu's wife was present at the rally. Current CHP leader Ozgur Özel also attended the demonstration alongside his wife.
From here, I call out to President Tayyip Erdogan. You could have gone down in history as someone who served for many years as Prime Minister and President, but you attempted a coup and insisted on it. You will go down in history as a coup plotter, not as a president, but as a junta leader.
This has been going on for 23 years, 25 years, enough of the oppression that they have inflicted on us. We are now saying no. This is no longer just an Ekrem Imamoglu issue. Anyone who opens their mouth to say something is immediately thrown in jail. We don't want this anymore.
Imamoglu was arrested on March 18, 2025, the same day he was named the opposition's presidential candidate. Prosecutors have filed 142 charges against him, including corruption, bribery, embezzlement, and running a criminal organization. They are seeking prison sentences that add up to 2,430 years. In an indictment that runs nearly 4,000 pages, 400 others linked to the Istanbul municipality stand accused alongside Imamoglu. However, Imamoglu and the Republican People's Party have denied the allegations. Rights organizations, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, say the case raises concerns about the weaponization of law against political opponents. Turkish authorities, however, reject those claims and say the judiciary operates independently.